And one of the things I've come to know is that everything that you have to deal with, every problem that you face, every struggle you have to overcome, whatever it might be, as the Tao teaches, it has good fortune is hidden in all misfortune. You have to know that. And that the way that the Tao works is that nothing sustains itself the same. So that every storm that shows up in your life, every storm that shows up in the world, has calmness hidden within it, and has a drought hidden within it as well. And it's the way of things. The only constant is the Tao. But the problem with the Tao is, as it says in the first chapter, is that the Tao that can be named is not the Tao. So you can't talk about it. You have to just experience it. You have to go within and come to know that there is a constant. There is an energy. There is a force from which all things originate. All things originate, including you. And particles themselves do not create more particles. So you didn't come from a particle. You came from an energy field that allowed a particle to formulate in a split second called creation. That's the way of Tao. And returning to Tao, verse 40 of the Tao Te Ching says that returning is the way of Tao. Returning is the way of Tao. Returning and yielding. Your job is to return to the place from which you originated. Now some, including the poets, suggest that the only way to do that is through death. T.S. Eliot, the great, was actually born in St. Louis. I don't know if most of you knew that. In 1888. Died in 1965 at the age of 77. Said, we shall not cease from exploration. And at the end of all of our exploring shall be to return to the place from which we started. And know it for the first time. He's suggesting in that poetic offering for which he won the Nobel Prize for Literature in 1948. He's suggesting in there that the only way you'll ever know it is to die. You'll return to the place from which you came, and at your death you will know where you came from in that originating place and know it for the first time. Now, I don't like to argue with T.S. Eliot or Lao Tzu, but I would suggest that we can return and enter into a state of God realization and harmonize ourselves with Tao now and activate it and create it. And in the process, gain all that the originating force allowed or intended us to become, which is what we signed up for before we came. It's possible now. Because the Taoists don't believe in a God that is a white, dead male in heaven floating around as a cosmic bellboy who is going to offer you, if you pray hard enough, to something outside of you. As Carl Jung, who was a Taoist, said that the surest way to lose your soul is to believe in a God that exists outside of yourself. The surest way to lose your soul. He also said that the purpose of organized religion is to prevent as many people as possible from having a direct experience of God. A direct experience. A knowing God. So the Tao doesn't teach about knowing about God. The Tao teaches about knowing God. And the Tao sees God in nature and in yourself and in all things, inescapably connected to all things, the source of all creation. It does nothing, but it leaves nothing undone. Doing nothing and leaving nothing undone is a wonderful paradox. Try it sometime. I've been doing that, even in my swim in the morning on the ocean in the Pacific. I've been practicing swimming by doing nothing, but just letting my body do what it knows how to do. Just letting it move through the water without my having any effort and just watching. Good example of it right now is there's, 1,500, 2,000 people in this room? There's not one person in here who's beating his heart or her heart. And yet every heart is being beaten. So the Tao teaches all of us that you're doing nothing. You're just being done. You're in the process of being done by a force that is handling everything for you and handled it from the very beginning. Very interesting, because the first 9 months of your life, from the moment of conception until the moment of birth, in those first 9 months, you totally stayed out of the picture. And so did everybody else. It's just, you totally surrendered. You just let go, as they say in the recovery movement. You let go, and what? You let God. You just let God. So you didn't have a nose when they took a little picture in there, but you didn't go through, praying, oh God, please deliver me a nose, and don't put a bump on it, and don't make it look to this or to that. And you handled, everything got handled in exactly divine timing, divine perfection. And you just let go. And so did your mother. You just let go and allowed and allowed. And it all happened. And then you were born and you said, good work, God. I'll take over from here. And so did your parents and all of your neighbors and your culture. We'll take over. Nice work. And the moment that you did that, you made your biggest mistake. In the Tao, myself here today, teaching about how to get back to that place of doing nothing, but leaving nothing undone. Allowing rather than resisting. Not fighting.